In this brief presentation, we will discuss what are high-stakes exams and what are the quality indicators of high-stakes exams. So first, what are high-stakes exams? Generally, high-stakes exams are assessments of high significance for the test takers or the candidates. Success in high-stakes exams will actually result in critical outcomes for the candidates. And so what are critical outcomes? Those critical outcomes actually mean that success in such exams will lead to academic progression, to graduation, to licensure or to getting licenses, or to selection for advanced educational or professional opportunities. So these are high stakes because success in these will lead to these milestones, but failures on the other hand will actually stop the candidates from academic progression or from graduation or from licensure and from getting other opportunities for professional and academic advancement. Secondly, high-stake exams have certain, for example, several types. For example, standardized tests are generally high stakes, such as SAT and GRE and GMAT, that are used for getting to like professional colleges or for enrolling in higher education. We also have exit exams. Exit exams are actually exams that take place at the end of an educational program, and they are required for graduation. Similarly, professional certification exams are considered high stakes exams because these lead to the candidates to get professional certificates, such as, for example, bar exams or medical board exams, and also civil service exams that ultimately lead candidates to get opportunities for jobs in civil servants in civil services. So all of these, and there are several others that could be considered as high stakes exams. Now there are certain characteristics that make high stakes exams quality exams. So what are those? The first one is validity. What is validity? Validity is actually the extent to which an exam accurately measures what it claims to measure. For example, if an exam is intended to measure the general intelligence of student, rather than, for example, their memorization capacity, so it will be valid if it actually measures the general intelligence rather than their memorization capacity. Now, validity has several types. One of those types is content validity. What is content validity? Content validity, as the very name suggests, is that the exam should include content that actually covers the curriculum or the learning objectives of the program or the educational process. Secondly, construct validity. Construct validity actually means that the exam accurately measures the theoretical construct it is intended to measure. So, for example, the exam is intended to measure let's say the emotional intelligence of students. It should actually measure the emotional intelligence in order to have construct validity. If instead of emotional intelligence, it is measuring general intelligence or some other form of intelligence or memory, that will not be considered as construct validity. Then criterion related validity is basically the effectiveness of exams in predicting students' performance in related future endeavors. So, for example, if the exam can predict accurately that the students will perform well in a particular let's say task or exam in the future that is similar to this one, that will actually mean that that exam has criterion related validity. So for example, in a secondary school exam, if the exam has criterion related validity, that will actually means that it can predict the student performance in that particular field in the higher education. Now, the next one is reliability. So what is reliability? Quality exams will have reliability as a characteristic. What is reliability? Reliability is basically the consistency or stability of the exam results over time and across different instances of its conduct. So if the exam is conducted on several times or on different instances and the results are stable, that will actually means that it is reliable. Reliability has several types. One is internal consistency. Several aspects, I would say. Internal consistency is that the consistency of the results across items within the test. So if the test or the exam have several items and all of those items are actually measuring the same thing or similar thing, or the concepts that are congruent, that will actually mean that it has internal consistency. Test retest reliability, what is this? That actually means that if the exam is taken time and time again and there is stability of the test scores over time, that will mean test and retest reliability. Then inter-rater reliability. Inter-rater reliability actually means that if the students who appear in an exam and if their performance is evaluated by different graders, by different evaluators, and the results, there is consistency among the grades that are coming across those different graders or different evaluators, that will actually mean inter-rater reliability. And internal consistency, test retest reliability, or and inter-rater reliability, all of those will actually result in higher reliability overall of the exam. Now there are other characteristics that make the high stakes exams high quality or good quality. That one of those is exam fairness. Fairness is basically what? It is the extent to which an exam is free from bias, and so it provides equal opportunities to all the test takers or the students to demonstrate their knowledge and skills. Fairness has two main characteristics. Equity, which actually means that ensuring the exam is free from bias and it is accessible to all students regardless of their background, such as their socio-economic backgrounds or their language or linguistic backgrounds and so on. Then flexibility. So the next thing that makes exams fair is flexibility, which actually means that there is availability of appropriate flexibility for students with special needs or with different needs. So there should be flexibility in terms of, for example, the conduct of exam, or in terms of the content of exam or the process of exam for students with different abilities or for various types of students. So that will mean flexibility. Next, exam transparency is another characteristic of high quality, high stakes exams. So what is this? Exam transparency is actually the clarity and openness of the exam process, the criteria, the scoring, ensuring that the test takers understand how they are being evaluated. So everything is clear to the test takers, to those who conduct the test, and to those who evaluate. That will actually mean transparency. So transparency can be strengthened by, first of all, giving clear criteria or clear guidelines for grading, rubrics, and for the evaluation. Secondly, there should be feedback mechanism, which actually means that students should have the opportunity to give constructive feedback on their performance and on the structure and the content and the conduct of the exams. Now, next is practicality. So what is basically practicality? Exam should be something that is practically like that one can do in a can practically apply in a conducive environment. And the practicality is that the exam is easily conducted. There is feasibility in its administration. The exams should look at the examiners, or those who are actually organizing the exam should look at factors such as the time, the cost, and the resources. It should also include feasibility, which means ease of administration of the exams in terms of time and cost and other resources. And secondly, clarity, which actually means that there should be clear instructions regarding all questions, and the questions should be understood clearly by students. Then the other important characteristic of exam is alignment with educational standards. So it is important that exams are not an end in themselves, but they are a means to an end. And that means is that the exams are aligned with the curriculum. So alignment with the curriculum, the national or regional educational standards and benchmarks is very important. Next, skill assessment. Exams should actually assess the real and authentic skills of students, such as the critical thinking skills, the problem solving skills, and generally the authentic application of knowledge. Now, the last thing is that exams should be considered as quality exams if these exams have the stakeholders' satisfaction. Now, how is that? Like, stakeholders means, for example, students and teachers and parents. So in order to have to assess students' feedback, it is important that we collect or gather data from students regarding the fairness, the relevance, and the ease of conduct of exams. Secondly, teachers are important stakeholders, so we need to know about their perceptions, and we need to involve teachers in the development and review process of exams to make it educationally sound. And very last, integrity is very important, and integrity is basically adherence to ethical standards and measures that ensure the integrity of the exam process, the security, the honesty of the examination process, the fairness. This also includes preventing, for example, unfair means or cheating in exams, which is very, very important. And lastly, confidentiality, which actually means that there is need for ensuring the security and confidentiality of the exam materials, and also those who are involved in the exam process, so that the whole examination process is actually conducted in a confidential manner, and so there are no chances of the use of unfair means in exams.